Hello, my name is Aito-Imonah. Um, I would like to start this pitch with a very simple question. What if you had nothing to wear? And I'm not talking literally about you want to go out and, you have a wardrobe full of clothes and, you don't know what to pick or what to wear. Like literally, imagine if you had no clothing. There was no fashion industry, there was no garment industry. You have nothing to wear. At that point, clothing becomes more important than the air we breathe. Well, I guess that's a bit extreme. The water we drink, it becomes more important than money because, maintaining a certain sense of decency and covering your privates becomes more important than anything. And so you wonder why an industry so important and so inimical to life as the garment industry, or better still, the fashion industry in Nigeria is relegated to the background and given literally no funding. Founders like me at the intersection of fashion and technology have to struggle to even get my voice heard to pitch. And so this is an incredible opportunity for me to be able to share my vision and my idea. My idea is called Afrofashion AI. Afrofashion AI is a solution for the garment industry. First of all, I think I need to introduce myself. My name is Aito-Imonah, and I am known as Nigeria's first documented fashion illustrator. I pretty much started the fashion illustration genre in Nigeria at a time when it was barely known, which was basically in 2009. Yes, the industry is that young. I started out with a degree in computer science, and I've always sketched, and I knew that I wanted to do fashion. And actually, after my youth service, I came to Lagos to learn pattern making and to become a full-fledged designer. But I realized that there was a gap um, in fashion illustration, which was quite weird because fashion illustration, which is basically the art of sketching your design, is the very first, point or the very first action in the garment production process. And there was really no one doing it at that time. And I had to fill that gap because I had natural illustration skills. But that's not where I'm going. I have had a very storied career in fashion, and I've worked in almost all the aspects of the fashion industry, from design and pattern making to illustration to education. I've even worked in editing. I was an editor at Genevieve magazine, a fashion and lifestyle magazine. So I've pretty much seen all the aspects of the fashion industry, and who better to create a solution than myself, who has had nearly 20 years experience, at in the Nigerian fashion industry. So like I said, the name of my solution is Afrofashion AI. So you probably ask, what problem exactly are you trying to solve? Well, the problem I'm trying to solve is the problem that is associated with bad education. Fashion education in Nigeria is barely regulated. You have, very few universities and colleges of tech dedicated to fashion education. So what you have are a lot of mushroom schools that, are not either certified, I call them roadside schools, where the focus is really just teaching you how to sew. If you're lucky to learn pattern making, all well and good, but the focus is teaching you how to sew. So the concept of ideation, the concept of thinking up your design idea is barely talked about, more or less illustration. So Afrofashion AI has come to solve the problem of, bad fashion education for the average African designer. So is it an education application? No, it isn't an education application. What it helps the African fashion designer to do is it helps you illustrate your design ideas. It helps you create tech flats. It helps you create detailed tech packs. So all you need to do is to have the idea in your head and have the capacity to just put it down, and it will generate your idea for you. So basically, Afrofashion AI is an AI-powered Afrocentric fashion design application. Now, what is my uh, what's my business model here? My business model is actually to operate as a freemium for the first 3 months. So I am looking to build a community, of African fashion designers who will showcase, what they're able to create with the application to generate, awareness. And afterwards, I hope to create a subscription model. Now, this subscription model will, come at different it will have different levels, depending on the capacity, or depending on the number of features that the system, that the application that you are able to afford, or that the application has. So beyond fashion illustration and tech pack making, we hope to have a full-fledged pattern making application. So all you just need to do is have your design idea, and it will do all the hard stuff for you, from illustration to tech pack making to pattern making. So all you have to do is just ship off, to your a producer or your factory, who has all this information ready to be able to mass produce your collection. And also, we hope to have a database of, designers who will, a database of, producers, factories, haberdasheries, people who sell textiles, so that it's a one-stop shop for the average designer, or better still, the enthusiast. So I guess I've pretty much answered what, my market, what my target market is. Finally, I would like to give a brief demonstration of Afrofashion AI, and it's already existing. It's already in existence. I have created an MVP that is built on the ChatGPT, based on the ChatGPT model, and I hope to be able to, create a front end and a back end, pretty much separate the API, create a front end and a back end, so that it's a standalone application which I can scale and, create a subscription about. So I will share my screen right now. All right, so we are in the Afrofashion AI environment. As you can see at the top, you have Afrofashion AI clearly written there. Like I said, it's a GPT, which I created and built based on, the ChatGPT 4 model. I had to, put in my own data set so that it recognized, our fabric, our terminology, and accessories. So I have my prompts written here. It's quite lengthy, but you have to be as explicit as possible. Of course, I'm going to hold training sessions on how to be able to, create your prompts so that you're able to get the best results. So I have a prompt which I can't really read now because of time, but it's basically to generate an image and generate a tech flat, and the what's it called now? The tech flat and the detailed tech flat. So I have the image here. So I'll quickly read it, just a few minutes. Generates a full body 3D front and back view of a beautiful black woman standing against a white paneled wall with a platinum pixie cut. She's wearing a loose fit, short sleeve top in indigo adire prints. The top has white patch pockets at the chest and long white fringes, and the fringe length is to the hip around the hem of the top. The top is paired with loose fit cargo pants in the same adire fabric, and basically this is what it generates. So you can see that it sticks to the brief. You have the indigo top with the white patch pockets, and so it generates this in 3D, that will take a full day for a 3D designer. Front and the back views, very clear, very expository, and then it generates amazingly the tech flats. Okay, you have the top there and the bottom, and this is in Adobe Illustrator style. Hey, Adobe, we pretty much disrupted your market. So you can see the top stitching. When I click on it, it's easily downloadable. You can see the top stitching. This is clearly Adobe Illustrator style that takes years for the average designer to learn and costs quite a bit. You know, the average tech pack costs between 50K to 300,000 naira, depending on how expensive or how detailed it is. And then you also have it in color. You have it in color. You have the front view of this in color. You have it in black and white. You know, you have the different pages. You have the order of make. You have the different pages. And the amazing thing is, if it's not giving you what you want, like it didn't exactly give me what I want, it's conversatory. So you can, insist on certain things. Like I said, I wrote right there, the tech flat needs to have front and back views of the garment. The title page needs to be, and I asked it to do all these corrections and it gave it to me in, front and back. So when you click on it, you have the front and the back views of the tech flat. So this is actually quite incredible. Look at this, front and back view in color. This will take a designer, between 24 hours to 3 days to produce and will cost hundreds of thousands of naira and is done in a few seconds, depending on the speed of your internet, and costs far, far much less. Nothing less than your ChatGPT subscription of $10. And the truth of the matter is, when we take this off ChatGPT, we hope to, be more pocket friendly and have subscriptions as low as 5,000 naira, just to be able to get as many people on the application as much as possible. And so with this, I hope that I've been able to convince you that this is Afrofashion AI is an application to look out for, to watch out for, and also to invest in. This will pretty much disrupt the fashion industry as we know it, and will be, an incredible assistance to the average Nigerian or African fashion designer. Thank you.